Welcome back to Project 613. Today we learn about 3 mitzvot that have to do with supporting the poor. And we're really coming in continuation with the agricultural laws, which we learned in the previous days, where there are certain amounts, certain parts of the produce of the field that have to be left for the poor. Today we learn about a different type of gift for the poor, where the farmer has to give a certain percentage of his produce to the poor. Not just talking about, forgotten stalks or a corner of the field that's left, or forgotten sheaves, but rather a percentage of the full amount of produce that has to be given. This is called maaser ani, the tithe that's given to the poor. And the way it works is like this. We're going to be learning over the coming days that the agricultural cycle really works on a 7-year cycle, where there are 6 years of working the field, and there's the 7th year, the Shemitah year, where the field is not worked at all. And over the 6 years, there are various tithes that are given each year, some to the Kohanim, to the priests. There's a tithe for the Levites, for the Levim. And there is also a tithe that's given to the poor. The tithe that's given to the poor is given on the 3rd and 6th year of the agricultural cycle, the 3rd and 6th year of the 7-year cycle. A 10% of the produce has to be given to the poor. That's addition to the tithes that need to be taken for the Kohanim and to the Levim. And this is the first mitzvah that we learned today, the mitzvah of maaser ani, the tithe that's given to the poor from the produce on the 3rd and 6th year of the Shemitah year. Now, in continuation to that, Maimonides uses this occasion to talk about charity to the poor in general. And here we have the mitzvah of charity. And the mitzvah of charity has within it 2 mitzvot, a positive mitzvah to give charity and a prohibition of withholding charity when a person is able to give. So the first mitzvah of giving charity, the mitzvah of Tzedaka, is basically that we are obligated to support the needy as much as we possibly can. And this mitzvah is actually repeated a number of times in the Torah. One of the famous verses is Patoach tiftach et yadcha, you shall surely open up your hand to your brother who is poor. This mitzvah is an obligation on all people, however wealthy or poor you are. Even the poor people themselves are obligated to give charity to another poor person or to someone who is poorer than them. And even if they're only giving a little bit, every individual is obligated to give charity. This is the only mitzvah where Hashem tells us that we can test Hashem, because Hashem promises us that we will not lose from giving charity. And every time we give charity, we will gain from giving charity. And if we don't believe it, Hashem says, try it. Try me, says God. Test me to see if giving charity will cause you to lose or cause you to gain. So this is the second mitzvah that we learned today, the positive mitzvah to give charity. And then we have the third mitzvah that we learned today, which is the negative prohibition, where the Torah tells us it is forbidden for us to withhold charity if we are in a position to support the poor. The verse says, Lo ta'ametz levavacha v'lo tikpotz yadacha. Do not hold your heart closed and do not hold back from giving. Do not harden your heart and do not close your hands from giving. Anytime a person is in a position to give and withholds from giving, they are violating this mitzvah. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.